My Love in the News, a short story by Adebimpe Odefunsho. Dele, Dele. I heard my mother's voice call out my name from the sitting room. I'd done all the chores. Why would she call me with so much resoluteness? That's the only reason why she would sound that way. I thought to myself, you should be watching this. A voice rang out again, throwing me out of my wonderland. At this moment, I realized why she was dedicated to ensuring I came out. It was time for the evening newscast. No, not again, I murmured. My mom had always loved us to be up to date with the current happenings in the country and the world at large. Her passion for this grew even more when she watched a 12-year-old girl win a whooping cash prize that could literally pay for my tuition fee through my secondary education on the Who's Got Talent TV show. Thanks to the current affairs question she was able to answer correctly. Now I feel so weary. Do you know why? Listening to the news had always been the most boring activity I'd ever embarked on. Don't judge me yet. I've always been a studious and bright student. I just didn't like listening to the news. I struggled to get out of bed, close my novel, wore my knickers, and grudgingly walk out of my room, keeping in mind that I needed to do this quickly before I get a round of sermons on how important listening to the news was. No, I wouldn't allow that to happen. That would be like taking a double dose of what I dreaded so much. I sunk into the chair beside her while trying hard to avoid catching a glimpse of her smiling face. At least this would make her know I was impressed with her actions. I stared blankly at the TV, trying hard to get myself to listen to whatever the presenter said. I'll be back. Let me prepare the dinner, I heard my mom say as she got up from the cushion beside me. I turned my head towards her and quietly watched her go through the kitchen door. I couldn't believe what just happened. I thought we were in this together. How could she drag me into this and quit barely halfway into the program without my permission or any sense of guilt? I felt really betrayed. Although deep within me, I knew I couldn't justify the bitterness I felt at that moment. How would I explain that I was angry with my mom for trying to prepare her dinner? That was quite unreasonable, I must say. I looked back at the TV, trying hard to get in tune with the program. Apart from the eloquence and elegance of the presenter, the only thing that kept me going was the fact that the cast was slowly coming to an end. Finally, it was over. I gave a sigh of relief as I stood up and walked away, without taking another glance at the TV. I took my novel as I got into my room and immersed myself in it as quickly as possible. This is rather strange. The news broadcast started a bit late today, I muttered, as I took the TV remote to check if I was tuned to the right channel. I sat in my revolving chair, waiting patiently for the commencement of the news, while I munched the crispy popcorn in my food bowl and gently sipped down the moderately chilled orange juice in my hand. There she is! I exclaimed with utmost delight as the presenter came into view. My face lit up and my mouth widened, unable to contain the booming smile emerging from my face. Lately, I've not only developed a steady routine for watching the evening news, but I had also grown a rather deep admiration for the presenter as well. She is a stunning beauty, an angel in disguise. Her eyes were as bright as the sun. I almost thought she could see me through the screen anytime I looked into her eyes. Her lips looked so soft and pinkish like the early morning rose. They were nicely placed on her oval-shaped face, which was beautifully adorned by her dark curly hair. I could almost see her hourly-glass figure as she was seated in a perfectly fitting chair. She had always held me captivated by her elegance. Today was no exception. She looked radiant in her well-fitted floral dress. What put the icing on the cake about her was the fact that she was still single. Yes, I mean she's not married. I remember the day I looked her details up on the internet and found out about her single status. I leaped up in joy as if she had just accepted my marriage proposal. Trying to place a hold on the time when my feelings for her grew this much had always been a Herculean task. I mushed on my popcorn while looking intently at the TV, enjoying every bit of the moment. Across the room was my mother fiddling with the tiny set kit. Her face beamed with satisfaction. Her countenance had always been like this since the day she realized she never needed to cajole me to listen to the newscast. To her, I'd finally found out it's important for myself. Oh, there it goes! A sunshine smile. had always been the final seal to mark the end of the broadcast. It always made my day. Here I am sweating profusely in front of the stale looking judge with my fate about to be determined by his destiny molding pen. I stood staring into the thin air, wishing for a miracle to happen. At this point, I wasn't sure if the tingling sensations I felt all over my body was caused by the perspiration or by the numerous eyes that were fixated on me. I'd never been this anxious. My week had been very busy and rough. Apart from the rigorous academic drilling that went on in school, I also suffered a major heartbreak. I lost my long found love. How this happened is still a surprise to me. My school had always been an active participant in the famous National Inter-School Academic Competition, which was usually held once annually, and this time it was my school's turn to host other participants for a prestigious competition. Unfortunately, or maybe unfortunately, I was selected to represent the senior category alongside one of my classmates. It was indeed a privilege we appreciated. Representing the school in such competitions commanded a lot of respect and awe from other students, and winning it automatically made you a legend to be celebrated throughout the year. It was a time we all looked forward to, but things would have been a lot better if the evening news broadcast took the usual form. No, that wasn't the case. The newscaster had been replaced. She wasn't available to read the news anymore. I was really bothered the first time I noticed this change, but hoped it wasn't a cause for concern. As time went by, I knew it wasn't just a coincidence. It was on a cool Saturday evening, and after watching one of my favorite TV shows, I got the heart-rending news. My crush had just got married. Yes, she has proceeded on her honeymoon vacation. I was crushed. I felt a sharp object had just pierced through my heart. Why did this happen? I thought we were in love. I couldn't process that thought to the end before I came back to my senses. Come to think of it, we were never in a relationship in the first place. We had never even met. She was just my fantasy. But why did I feel this heaviness within? Why did I feel I just lost someone dear to me? I must have allowed this whole thing to get into my head. I forced a smile on my face, trying hard not to be overwhelmed by my emotions. I immediately focused on the wealth of information I had gained since the day I started listening to the broadcast. I decided to be happy for her and wished her all the best in her marriage. I had since moved on. I could hear the clock ticking away. It was almost time to ring the final bell. My partner had given up as she had no clue about the question. Our answer would determine who went on with the grand prize, a huge sum of money. The interesting thing about this question was that it's a current affairs question. In fact, I had heard about it from the evening news broadcast. The entire seemed like a setup, as if it was organized purposely as a day to give an account of all I had listened to so far. I went deep into my inner information reservoir. If only I could remember what she said. If only I could see the broadcast again, I lamented. Suddenly, I saw an image flash. Yes, a sunshine smile. Now I remember. I remember. I quickly spoke the answer into the microphone before me, and to my amazement, I was right. The judge looked from the corner of his goggles and gave me a wide smile. We just won the grand prize. There was a loud ovation in the school hall. I was overwhelmed with joy. But do you know what thrilled me the most? It was a happy ending after all.